Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all doing very well on this Friday morning. To my left we've got Rad.
Hiya, how you doing?
I'm very well, yeah.
Yeah, good. Especially with how well Forest are doing, it's difficult not to be good at the moment. So, you know, good to see.
Yeah, I do agree. And I mean that second spot is really truly in sights now after that win on Wednesday.
Yeah, honestly, it doesn't feel real, does it? It's 45 these days. Like, we're just not used to this kind of. You all dream about it, thinking, "Oh, love to see Forest go up. Could we get top two? Just sneak sixth place." The fact so many people are saying with confidence, "Yeah, we'll catch Bournemouth." And like I'm hearing this and I'm thinking, you know what? Why the hell not? Like I think it really is doable. I've never had the confidence ever to say top two is a thing that Forest can achieve. But the only other time that I've ever been somewhat confident of top twos, and I hate to bring it up, was the lockdown under Sabri. When we were beating Derby, we were like 2 points off second. That was obviously the game when we decided to just not get promoted, and we were like 2 points off second. I thought, oh, maybe you know what, we've got a favourable run of games coming up. We might be able to do it, and then it decided to just not happen in quite dramatic circumstances. But I think what we're doing right now is just you can't even put into words like what Cooper's done to this club. You just can't not love what Steve Cooper's doing and just his mentality, his attitude, and getting all these fist pumps, and I just can't get enough. We're just getting used to it now, and it's just brilliant to see, really, isn't it?
Oh, just a bit. I mean, scenes at the end of the game, it's just unreal.
Yeah, every game. Yeah, I mean, he always goes around the city ground and does a fist pump to every single stand, and that whole ground's buzzing, especially when you're playing against a real top side, being Huddersfield and Leicester, and in particular Derby. Obviously, it's always going to be especially rocking. I mean, the support this season is just second to none. Like 29,000 on a midweek game in the Championship against a team that are not going to go up or down. I thought Cov did pretty well, to be honest, but it wasn't. They're not going to get the playoffs anymore. They're definitely not going to get relegated. It's, to get that attendance is just amazing, really.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, to say that how we won on Wednesday as well, I mean, sort of got into that second gear by the end of the game. But I mean, the win 2-0 against a pretty decent Coventry side, it was really, really good. I mean, that second goal, when it went in, it just took the pressure off us.
Yeah. I mean, well, I've said this before on my channel. I just love the fact that we don't necessarily have to be at our absolute best to win. Like, there's been quite a few games this season where particularly the first half, we haven't really been quite at it, and yet second half we come out all guns blazing, like QPR. Like, we weren't bad, but we're ultimately losing to a team who were out of form and have got even worse since. We've lost all the games since QPR, and yeah, I mean, you saw that second half performance. We didn't just do what we'd do at a push under previous managers and just come back and maybe draw or get a 2-1 win in a very scrappy way, like against Coventry last season, actually, with that Lard Taylor penalty. We came back and thoroughly beat a team that had been in the playoffs most of the season, or were. And that Jed Spence goal just kick-started everything into life. And then Yates, he does what Yates does and gets one. And then I don't remember who got the other one. It was it's a very good performance. Johnson.
Yeah.
Is it? Just point is, we always find a way to win. Coventry, like you say, we weren't even like going full pelt. We were on second gear maybe, and we quite comfortably saw them off, and it did help the fact that Coventry weren't very good with their finishing. Like, they missed several chances and blazed it over the bar. If it was someone like Fulham, they probably would have punished us, to be honest. But ultimately, we got the job done. It doesn't matter who you play. We got the job done ultimately, and I really don't fear anyone really. I think the only game that I could see us losing at all is probably Fulham. But even that, I'm not going to say is a certainty. To be honest, it's just the way this team's playing with the mentality. We've not seen this. And I know I'm a younger fan. It's even more strange to me. I've not seen this ever, quite frankly. So it's brilliant to see.
As I say, it's been Billy Davis' first time since we really been that. When we were challenging West Brom and Newcastle, then it was really, oh wow, what's happening?
Yeah, definitely. A lot of people comparing him to Billy Davis Cooper, and I mentioned previous managers. We had a few good moments under them, but it was mainly quite mediocre when you look back on it, and some of them are even worse than that. My dad has said a few times, and I've seen a few people saying, "No, I'm not sure just yet." But I definitely see the comparisons. He said, "Oh, he's the second coming of Cloughie," and I know he hasn't actually achieved anything with us yet in terms of actually winning anything. But the similarities are truly there without a doubt. When was the last time we had a manager that actually took the FA Cup seriously? I've never known us do a thing in the cup before this season. So, this season we actually played a full strength team. We respected an historic cup competition. Why the hell not give it a go? And we were lucky that we played a load of top sides, which gave us a lot of confidence to take that into the league. And who knows? If we'd gone out in the first round to Arsenal, would we be quite as strong as we are in the league now? I don't think we would, because I think beating Leicester in the way we did, beating Arsenal the way we did, and then playing like we did against Liverpool, beating Huddersfield, I really think it's gone a long way, to be honest, to getting Forest, to believe even more than they already were doing that top two, and at the very least top six is a possibility.
Yeah, completely. I mean, we got Birmingham. I think I did it in a proper accent. We have got them tomorrow, and I mean, you got to be thinking. I know they say don't get too far ahead of yourself, but we got to be looking at 3 points against Birmingham.
Well, you'd think so, really, wouldn't you? But Birmingham the songs I've known about Birmingham City have been the most inconsistent side ever. You just don't know what you're going to get from them. And this season, it's been exactly the same, just below mid-table. Not going to go down, not going to go up. They're probably been slightly better than they were last season, but that's probably pushing it. They all love Lyle Taylor, which is good to see over at Birmingham, but they won't have him against us. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting. I wouldn't write them off, because there's been a few games in the past against Birmingham where they have got a pound on us. Like last season was a thrilling goalless draw, and a 1-1 draw in the last minute. I seem to remember we played really bad and got an equaliser. Obviously, we won the first game this season. It was one of the first signs of Cougar ball. We beat them 3-0 at their place. We've beaten them 3-0 under Sadbury, actually, at Forest. And Joe Lolly, I'd love to see Lolly start, because not only I think he deserves a chance, but he always does bits against Birmingham. So I'd like to see him get a go, to be honest. But you'd think it'd be a win. You never know with this division, but Forest just keep defying the odds. You think, well, surely this game, they'll slip up eventually, and we just aren't. The only game we have slipped up in properly was Cardiff, and that was in January. We haven't lost in the league since January, which is just crazy. So, the only game we have lost since then was to a world-class side, and that was us being completely edged out by them, which is just crazy. So yeah, honestly, you got to be confident, really.
You do, and I mean, you touched up on about Lolly, and he should be starting. I mean, there were a couple of tweets I seen yesterday saying that he should be starting instead of Sink. I mean, and that would you start Lolly instead of Sink?
I would, yeah. I do. Zink is a really interesting subject. He's a great player, but he just frustrates everyone. I think, there's a few times where he's a bit like Jack Grealish. He just keeps the ball, he doesn't really pass it. He needs to pass and uses the opponents more. And he's hot and cold, really. You know, 1 minute he's really good, and you think sign him up, you know, keep him, and then the next minute he's missing sitters. Like he missed one against Blackpool, he missed one against Liverpool. You know, they could have been crucial ultimately, well, especially the Liverpool one. But yeah, honestly, I think Lolly we are seeing true signs of his old self, and I thought again he looked pretty good against Coventry when he came on, and you know, obviously against Liverpool, but he did really well against Liverpool. That is QPR, you know, he came against Blackpool as well, so he's starting to get more chances. And you know, I'd love to see Lolly get a go. And I've seen a few people say he could be our secret weapon. You know, if he can get a few starts in his last few games, look, you know, in the form that he's in, could quite easily, you know, just get us over the line. And I think it really is doable. You know, he's not one of our own, but he's been with us a long enough time, you know, to understand the club. And I think, you know, he would absolutely love it if he could achieve promotion with Forest. So you know, it'd be really good for him, especially with all the injuries he's had, and he's seen a few things since he's been here. So you know, it'd be good to go to the other extreme and get promoted. So you know, I'd definitely like to see Lolly start.
Definitely. I mean, with Zinc, he's starting with Lewis Magoogan, like brilliant on his day, but other days it's like, why is he even on the pitch?
Yeah. I mean, there's a few times where I mean, it's weird. I think Zinc was really good against Blackpool, but against Coventry, he was invisible half the time. Like, you know, he is a bit of a luxury player in the sense that he's probably is better off the bench, but when he's on his day, you know, you're thinking, well, he has to start every game. You know, I would like to see Lolly get chances more than him. Maybe even, you know, this is the thing, right? You know, with so many years we've struggled with squad depth. We've now got an amazing set of centre halves, midfielders, and strikers. Like, you know, remember, like under Sabri was saying, "Oh, we've got Grabban, but we haven't really got anyone else." And we made an absolute hash of trying to make Grabban have a bit of backup with Tyler Walker and the Costa. We don't talk about that. And then last season we had, you know, Taylor and, you know, Glenn Murray and them lot, and even like Will Swan was getting chances and stuff. And now all of a sudden we've got Grabban, who's older but he's still going really strong. And then Sam Surridge, who's proven it out as well. And Keane Davis is proven it out as well. And Johnson can play up front as well quite comfortably. So, you know, that's 4 really good strikers available. So I suppose you could say start 2 strikers, which we were doing before Grabban got injured against a few games. Actually, we played 2 strikers. So I mean, I'd honestly try and do that maybe. If you're not going to play Lolly, play 2 strikers. And I do feel like players like Myton and Xander Silva probably down the pecking order. You know, Silva, he did well when he came against Reading. He got that assist, but he's not been seen since. Which just proves that he is he's a surplus player. And I do feel sorry for Martin, because I do feel like he does deserve a bit more time, but I don't think he's going to get it in this team. So he arguably needs a loan, Alex Martin. But yeah, it's just brilliant to see the depth. Like, you know, the bench every week you look at and think, okay, that's fantastic. And if it's not working, we've got like 4 attackers on the bench, and even a strong defensive backup. So yeah, it's just, yeah, we've just got a fantastic squad. You know, it's just so good to see.
And that's the other good thing as well. I mean, we got 4 really top strikers, and even last 2 games we bought both. Oh, I need to fold the front 3 off and brought on a different 3, which it's nice to see, especially when you're like 2-0 up, 3-1 up, you're making them 3 changes, and you're like, oh wow, we're going for it again. Like,
yeah,
and even with Martin and like Silver, the good thing about that as well is if we want to change it up and go to a 4 at the back and the wingers, we've got that depth to go to that 4-2-3-1 if we need to, or 4-4-2.
Yeah. I mean, there's been a few times actually where the left back situation has been really interesting this season, because we've had Lowe, but he's been out twice. Colback has to keep playing now, and he does fantastic. Well, he's not even a left back, and yet he plays so well. He is a left back now, but he plays really well though. And he's more of a wing back, you know. That's what he is. But you know, we've seen players like Lolly and Myton, not for very long, basically play at wing back. They just like fill in there. I think against Sheffield United when we were going for it. We left it a bit late, but we brought on a load of subs, and Lolly was basically playing as a left back, and I think we put Cole back into into midfield, and we had like Mighton, Johnson, Surridge, Davis, all of them on at once. All those attackers. Even the defender is an attacker. So if you've got that kind of team available, you got to be fair. And this is the thing. Those people say no one's going to want to play Forest in the playoffs at all. Like, we are the team on form. Pretty much the entire time that Cooper's been here, we've been the second best team in the league behind Fulham on form, or at least a third or fourth. We've been constantly there, and all these Swansea fans, not so much now, saying, "Oh, honeymoon period." It's been going on for 6 months, and he's revolutionised Forest. So, it's fantastic, really.
Definitely, I think there was a stat saying that we're still top of the form, winning 1 but winning 5, drawing 1, and since Cooper been here, they've done it after 30 games. And Forest are actually second, funny enough. They're 6 points behind Fulham, but they're 6 points clear third.
Amazing. Literally, I've seen so many people say, "Oh, Derby, look at them. They've had a minus 21-point deduction. They're well in the thick of it." Forest had a 21-point deduction at the start of the season. We had Chris Hughton as our manager. So, we got 1 point from 21. So we had a 20-point deduction. Derby have had exactly the same. And I think they'd only be like 18th if it wasn't for their points deduction. Forest like second. So, yeah, that's levels, really.
I mean, Derby can go down on Good Friday if results go.
Oh, really? Well,
yeah,
I'll mark that in my calendar then. That'll be,
yeah, but I seen it on Facebook the other day. Like, apparently, they could go down as early as Friday. That is, Reading can pick up the wins, or if Derby don't win.
Wow, that's going to be a very, very fun day ahead, isn't it, for Forest fans? So I look forward to that.
Yeah. What's your score prediction for Birmingham?
Birmingham. My prediction. I don't want to be. I just feel like, I don't want to be too overconfident, but why shouldn't I be confident with Forest now? I just think. I mean, my dad has been giving so many he doesn't normally go really confident, but the last few months he's been saying 2-3-0 every week, and it's just fantastic. I mean, we've beaten Birmingham comfortably a few times before. So I wouldn't put us past us to do that again. And I said 2-0 against Coventry. I got it right. Birmingham haven't played since they beat West Brom, but they're such a weird team, Birmingham. So they could easily come to our ground and give us a good game, or they could be thrashed. So I'm going to go for it. 3-0 Forest. Why not?
That is a nice goal, lad. That is. Really is. Patrick saying finish second or playoffs.
Honestly, I don't see any reason why second's not up for grabs. I think the minimum will get top 4, but which is just brilliant to see. And it's not even we've been out of the playoffs all season. Let's just sneak in it at the end. We've been on playoff form the whole year. It's just the points deduction, as we said at the start of the season, which cost us. And think that ultimately will be what deciphers whether we actually do catch Bournemouth or not. And we have to rely on the fact that Bournemouth have a very tough run in, even for their standards. They've been inconsistent at times this season, yet they're still second. So if they drop a few points and we keep up this form, then very doable, in my opinion, second place, which never had the confidence to say that before the last month or two. So hopefully we avoid the stress of the playoffs and we get second.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, second here we come.
Yeah.
So I'd like to thank you for coming on.
No problem.
Don't forget to check out Wad's YouTube channel as well. Give it a sub. So I'd like to thank you for watching, guys.